So today, we have a privilege of inviting our chief guest, Mr. Shiv Khera, to the stage, who has dedicated himself to sharing the wisdom with us. His books, such as You Can Win, are celebrated names that have inspired millions of people to achieve their goals and lead successful life. Thank you, Ajay sir. Thank you, Shobit sir. So his writing have left an impact in the field of personal development and self-improvement, influencing countless individuals in their personal growth and self-improvement journeys. So on this occasion, as we extend our warm welcome to Mr. Shiv Khera, we invite him to please join us in hearing and sharing his insights with us.
आप सब लोगों को मेरा नमस्कार, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आप लोग आए हैं on a Sunday today. It was a delight to hear Sahil, and the reason I am here today is because I feel, of course, they've been in touch with us for the last 2-3 years or maybe more, but I get a feeling that they have created this university with the country's interest at heart rather than just a commercial establishment. Would you agree with me, folks? I think that is the most important thing that brings me today here. But on the lighter side, folks, first of all, before I get into it, many of you have very fancy phones in your hand, mobiles today. साहब मैं देख रहा हूँ कि बहुत के इतने अच्छे अच्छे मोबाइल्स हैं. साहब, can you get everybody on your mobile in your hand, please? Get everybody get your mobile in your hand, please. All the way up. Oh, right, everybody. Now kindly switch off, please. Kindly switch off. Kindly switch off, please. Kindly switch off. No, sir. Kindly switch off. I would request you. Now, I'll share with you why I say that. If I keep my mobile on right now, and if notification keeps coming or something happens, would it be, or if I keep fiddling with the mobile, tell me, would it be courteous to you people? Yes, no? Yes, no? Okay. Can we practice courtesy both sides? Folks, in our office in India, nobody, including me, nobody is allowed to bring their mobile in my conference room. Nobody. So if you came into my office and if my mobile keeps ringing, one, it is ill-mannered and discourteous. Two, am I not wasting your time? Yes, no. I have no right to waste your time. Now, I commit I will not waste your time, but I will not let you waste my time either. You keep your mobile out. I will not let you waste my time. So in our office, we had a member of parliament the other day come into our office, and he says, can I bring my mobile? I said, no, sir. He said, let's keep aside. I said, no, sir. I said, my daughter is not allowed to bring her mobile. I'm not allowed to do. I will not make an exception for you. Folks, these are certain basic things I think we need to understand and respect each other. Yes, no. It starts from there. Now, folks, on the lighter side, just on the lighter side, on a Sunday morning, one time, a young boy went to his dad and said, Dad, I'm confused. I really want to know the truth. Mom says our ancestors were monkeys. And you keep saying, God created us. What is the truth? Father said, son, we are both telling the truth. She's talking about her side of the family. I'm talking about my side of the family. So anyway, we're right here this morning. Folks, whenever we see a success story or a failure story, there are people behind it. How many agree with that? Please raise your hand. There are people behind any success or failure story. Now, if you agreed with that, the next logical question comes: how many believe that people are our greatest assets? Please raise your hand. Okay, one more wrong answer. Folks, keep in mind, people are not assets. Only good people are assets. Rest are all liabilities. Only good people are assets. Rest are all liabilities. And goodness must be created. Evil happens automatically. Goodness must be consciously created. Just like a farmer has to plant good seeds of flowers and fruits consciously to have a good garden. But weeds keep coming automatically. You don't have to plant them. They keep coming automatically. So goodness must be created, evil happens. See, after the farmer has planted good seeds, there's a whole army of insects and weeds ready to destroy his hard work. Yes, no. Now the farmer has a choice. Either get destroyed or destroy them. Both cannot live together. Folks, are you with me? Both cannot live together. They have to fight. That means fight is nature's law. Not fighting is not a choice. Look at this. In our body, we have white cells and we have red cells. What is the function of the white cells? To fight infection all the time. So right now, within our body, there's a fight. See, go check any medical doctor here. Go check up with any medical doctor. They'll tell you, every day our body releases millions of cancerous cells and millions of immunity cells. Whichever is stronger wins. If cancer cells are stronger, we die of cancer. If immunity cells are stronger, we're healthy. So right now, there is a fight in our body. Folks, remember, not fighting is not a choice. You want to live in peace, you have to fight. Now, when we fight, our objective is not to fight for the sake of fighting, but our objective is to win. Yes, no. Sahil, stay with me. Not permit, sir. You touch that, I'll leave. I'll pack up. I'm very clear. Folks, keep in mind, when we fight not for the sake of fighting, but we fight to win. Yes, no. Our objective is to win. And in order to win, we must be strong. And folks, this is my new book that is coming up, launching in January. We must fight to win. And to fight to win, we must be strong. And we must be strong in 5 areas, minimum 5 areas. Let me share with you what 5 areas you would like to know. Yes, no. Okay. 5 areas are: number 1, we must be physically strong. Folks, physical strength gives us stamina, sustenance, energy. Physical strength influences our decision-making process. See, folks, when we are unwell or when we are not physically strong, have you noticed one thing? The kind of decisions we end up making, we will never make such decisions when we are physically strong. Yes, no. That is true. So physical strength is crucial. It impacts our decision-making process. One is physical strength. Second is mental strength. Folks, have you noticed there are some people who are mentally strong, very strong. And no matter what they do, they prevail. They prevail. Now, how do you build that mental strength? Sir, could you open this for me? Thank you, sir. Sahil and I, we were talking just now. Folks, I come from a business family. We had coal mines in India, close to 1,000 people working for us. I didn't create them, I inherited them. The mines got nationalized, the government took over. And right from being a mine owner, we came on the street. Street means street. Some people had money, our family did not, because my father had died when I just about finishing college. We were left with the liabilities and the assets were gone. And I was married just 4 weeks then. And I remember a year later, my daughter was born. And I sold some of the last pieces of my mother's jewelry to get released from the hospital. I did not have $10 to buy milk that night. I tried my hands on 3 businesses with no money, and I failed in all 3. Finally, November 13, 1975, I left India. Went to US, initially went to Toronto, and started life with a bucket in my hand, washing cars door to door. For about 1.5 to 2 years, I was washing cars on the street. And just about that time, totally by accident, I got into selling life insurance, which in my opinion was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. But within less than 90 days, my manager called me back to fire me for non-performance. And he said, Shiv, I've been in this life insurance business 35 years. And he said, I've seen some slow starts in my life, but I've never seen one like you. And he said to me, don't come back tomorrow, you're fired. I said, wait a minute, Joe, before you fire me, at least hear me out. I said, I'm not an educated person. I'm not a doctor, engineer, attorney, accountant. I'm a BCom 3rd division, failed in my 10th. That's my academics. I said, I got a handicap. How do you expect performance out of me? Folks, the moment I said that day, somebody spoke very harshly to me, and I'm glad he did. And later on, I realized it was not anger, it was concern. He said to me, you shut up and listen to me. By the way, he didn't say this politely. He shouted at me. He said, you shut up and listen to me. He said, you don't have a handicap, you have a bad attitude. He said, it is people like you who not only ruin their own lives, but they also ruin their family's life too. And he says, do you know who has a handicap in life? He said, the doctor, engineer, attorney, accountant, they all have handicaps. I said, boy, I never heard that one. How do they have handicaps? He said, go check out all over the world. It is generally true. They all have chosen their field, they are stuck. Generally true. They all have chosen their field, they are stuck. And he says, you haven't chosen your field. Don't you see the world is open to you? I said, Joe, I never thought from that point of view. He said, now that you're fired, he said, you got all the time to think. He said, leave my office. Folks, I left his office 47 years ago that day. That evening, there was a program by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, the man who wrote the book Power of Positive Thinking. You heard the name, haven't you? Yes, no? Yeah. I went in for the program, paid $39, which I didn't have. I attended the program. Folks, as Dr. Peale came in, he must have been 85 years of age. And height was probably 5 feet. Maybe with shoes, 5'1". But amazing guy. And he looked at everybody. And he said, it appears you people are so cool, calm, comfortable here. It appears nobody has a problem here. Then he asked, does anyone have a problem? Now, who doesn't have a problem? So everybody raised their hand. Then he said, how many people would like to get rid of their problem? Again, everybody raised their hand. Then Dr. Peale said, while I was coming here, I came across a place where I saw some people lying down, all stretched out, comfortable, totally relaxed. They had no problem whatsoever. How many people would like to know where that place is? Again, everybody raised their hand. Then Dr. Peale said, 2 blocks away from here, there is a cemetery. Ek Shamshan Ghat hai sahab. There are people lying there, stretched out, comfortable, totally relaxed. They have no problem of any kind whatsoever. Then he asked, how many people would like to get rid of their problem? Nobody raised their hand. Everybody put their hand in their pocket. Then Dr. Peale said, remember, problem is a sign of life. So long as we are alive, we shall have problems. And the day we don't have problems, we'd be dead. And when you're running short of problems, watch out. That's the time to get on your knees and pray to God, have you stopped trusting me anymore? Send me some problems. Folks, that day, Dr. Peale gave a prayer which, in my opinion, is the gist of life. It is called the Serenity Prayer. Many of you must have heard it before. And I have, in the last 47 years, never left my home without my prayer. And I've come across many adversities. This prayer has helped me tremendously. I'll say it once in English and then in Hindi. It says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference what I can and what I cannot. परमात्मा मुझे संतुलन दो, जो बदल नहीं सकता आपकी सौगात समझ के स्वीकार करो, और अगर बदल सकता हूं तो मुझे इतनी हिम्मत और हौसला दो कि मैं उसे बदल दूं, और इतनी सुबुद्धि दो कि उनमें फर्क बता सकूं क्या बदल सकता हूं और क्या मैं. Folks, if you analyze this little prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Question is, can we change everything in this world to suit ourselves? Answer is no. Can we mold and manipulate things to suit everything the way we want it? Answer is no. There are many, many, many things beyond us, such as, I didn't choose my parents, neither did you. I didn't decide where I was going to be born, neither did you. If this is my height and the color of my skin, there's nothing I can do about it. And granted, sometimes people are born deformed. And granted, sometimes bad things do happen to good people for no fault of their own. What wrong did they do? Who knows? It says, what I cannot change, let me accept it graciously, not grudgingly. Because many times in life, we just keep fighting the things we just cannot change. And we bring stress into our lives, we become paralyzed, and we become unproductive. Yes, no. That's right. So it says, if I cannot change, let me accept it graciously. And if I can change, then give me the courage and the guts to do it, and wisdom to know the difference, what I can and what I cannot. Folks, when I wrote my book, You Can Achieve More, I took this thought 2 steps forward. And I have written in my book here, You Can Achieve More. Life is full of choices, and life is full of compromises. Seems like a contradiction, but not really. See, how is life full of choices? If I ill-treat you, I have chosen to be ill-treated, haven't I? If I treat you with discourtesy, I have chosen to be treated with discourtesy, haven't I? See, if I light up a cigarette, I have chosen to invite cancer, haven't I? See, if I exercise every day, I have chosen to invite good health, haven't I? And if I eat too much every day, I've chosen to be obese, haven't I? And see, if I drink and drive, I have chosen to invite an accident, haven't I? If I tell lies, I have chosen to lose my credibility, haven't I? Yes, no. That's right. See, look at this. Life is full of choices. But the most important sentence is that we are all free to the point of choice. But after we make our choices, the choice controls the chooser. We have no more choice after that. Are you with me? Last table, this side. Yep. We have no choice after that. It's all over. Now, how is life full of compromises? As somebody said, well, in life, we cannot choose the cards that are dealt to us. What we can choose is how we play the game. And sometimes nature gives us a lemon. The choice is ours. Do we cry or do we make lemonade? That's a choice. Now, many times people ask me, especially the press, Mr. Khera, that people who succeed in life, don't they make mistakes? And people who fail, don't they do positive things in life? So my answer is that people who succeed in life, they do make mistakes. But remember, making a mistake once in a while does not bring failure. Repeating the same mistake again and again is what brings failure. Are you with me? That's right. And doing something positive once in a while does not bring success. Repeating the same positive behavior again and again is what brings success. So we want to bring positive behavior into reflex action. It must become a habit. That's why it is said, success is a habit, so is failure. There are some people, no matter what they do, they always succeed. And they're called lucky. आपने कितनी बारी सुना होगा लोगों को कहते हुए, साहब इसकी तो किस्मत अच्छी है, मिट्टी को हाथ लगाता है. इसकी किस्मत खराब है, साहब सोने को हाथ लगाता है. Folks, there is truth in this statement, provided I would change the word lucky. The person you call lucky, analyze their life. Analyze every transaction in their life, and you will find the positive behavior has become habitual. Every time they do it right. It happens right. Their reflexes move right. And the person we call unlucky, analyze their life, analyze every transaction in their life, and you will find the negative behavior has become habitual. Every time they do it wrong. It happens wrong because the reflexes are moving wrong. Sab, I don't care how old we are here. Our parents, when we were kids, our parents said one thing: form good habits, and habits form characters. Yes, no. Form good habits, and habits form characters. Because 90% of our behavior is habitual. We don't think, we just act. And if we have positive habits, we are a positive character. If we have negative habits, we are a negative character. And good habits are hard to come by, but they're easy to live with. And bad habits come easy, but they're hard to live with. And before we got the habits got us. Yes, no. Folks, that's why I said success is a habit, so is failure. Any of you did martial art in life? Ma'am, how many years? 2 years. Okay. So you must have gotten to green belt or somewhere around there. Okay. Perfectly fine. But look at this. In martial art, once you start with your white belt, and then you get into your yellow and the orange and the green and the purple and the brown and the black belt, 5 years later, the martial arts student is practicing the same thing what he learned in the white belt. And what is that? Block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block. 5 years later, after getting black belt, he's still practicing block, punch, block, punch. Why? Because the teacher wants to get the block and punch into reflex. Why? Because the teacher realizes that if the student is ever in a street fight, if he has to think to block and punch, guess what will happen? He'll get beaten up. A martial arts student never has to think to block and punch. They never commit their blow till you commit, and after you commit, the reflexes move. And all it takes is one, it's all over. Folks, we've been doing corporate training for the past 40 odd years now, 35 years. And today when we do corporate training, we tell the people in the corporate world that what I am doing in your organization is repair work. Sab main yahan pe repairing kar raha hu. I am repairing here. Now, if you prepare them, you won't have to repair them. Where do you prepare them? You prepare them in schools and colleges, and sadly, they're not doing the job. You prepare them in schools and colleges. So we created a program called Prepare Them, Don't Repair Them. And IIM Nagpur has collaborated with us, and now many others are looking to collaborate with us. And James Cook University out of Australia has partnered with us. They collaborated with us to bring a program called Prepare Them, Don't Repair Them. Now, folks, I share this for a very important reason. After attending Dr. Norman Vincent Peale's program, I went back to my manager. And I said, Joe, don't fire me. Give me one more shot. Give me one more shot. And I said, I make a commitment to you. I will not let you down because of my effort. But if you fire me today, I don't know where to go. And the only place I know where to go is go back to washing cars. And I said, I don't want to do that anymore. I got a family to support. I have a little daughter. I said, Joe, please withdraw the papers. He looked at me and he said, Shiv, that's not your small one, that's your big one. He said, I'll let you stay here only if you make a commitment, not to me, but to yourself. Folks, that day I made a commitment. He would do the papers. And that year I went ahead, sold close to $1 million. Next year, 3 million. Year after, 5 million. I moved on to the US, got into 3 businesses. I bought out a company out of California in 1984. I started the New Jersey operation with no clients, and I sold my company with close to 500 clients for a decent sum. Now, why do I share my life with you? For a few reasons. Number one, I kept failing all my life and kept blaming the whole world for my failure, not realizing that I was my own biggest problem. Nothing changed outside, but something changed inside, and the direction in my life changed. And let me ask you, folks, many times in life, aren't we our own biggest problem? Yes, no. That's right. That was the first lesson I learned there. And second lesson was, when my manager said to me, "You shut up and listen to me," that taught me one more lesson, and that was that sometimes in life, you got to be unkind to be kind. Are you with me? Parenting, teaching, leadership is not a popularity contest. I repeat, sometimes in life, you got to be unkind to be kind. That's right. And the third lesson I learned was, see, all our appointments were made 1 week in advance. And I learned one thing, that if you don't have appointments made 1 week in advance, and if you wake up in the morning and you start thinking, "Let me see what I have to do today," you are unemployed with a job. You are unemployed with a job. I address maybe 100, 200,000 people every year. And folks, I find 90% people don't have appointments made 1 week in advance. What a joke. How can they get anywhere in life? And the most important lesson that I learned was, when I was selling life insurance, I was on 100% commission. I wouldn't get any money if I didn't sell, and I had no money. But I saw in my company, there were some people who were getting salaries, but they were not doing their job. Folks, that's the time I learned the difference between making money versus earning money. Making money is criminal. Earning money is spiritual. Are you with me? Making money is criminal. Earning money is spiritual. What is the difference? See, when we earn money, we put our energy and ethics behind it. साहब कौन सा स्कूल, कौन सा कॉलेज पढ़ा रहा है अमेरिका में, चाहे यहां पर, कोई नहीं सिखा रहा साहब ये कुछ. बेवकूफ बना के निकाल रहे हैं वहां से. Got a piece of paper and that's about it. Folks, there was a study done in US by Gallup. It's a global study which said that, and I'm sure we all experience it every day in our own offices, that 63% of people who go to work, they're disengaged. Means they don't do their job. 63%. And an additional 24% are actively disengaged, which means they don't let others also don't do the job. That leaves only 13% of people who go to work actually do work. Look at this. Only 13% of people who go to work actually do work. Tell me, is this not an integrity issue? Yes, no. Big time. And that same study said one more thing. That with the social media the way it is today, when people go to work, they spend 2 to 3 hours per day in their personal social media. Is that what we are getting paid for? Hello? When somebody steals your wallet, ma'am, what do you call that person? A thief. When we do all these things, what are we? Thieves. कौन से स्कूल में पढ़ा रहे हैं सर? सब हैरान हो जाओगे. When we do corporate programs, you ask people, what is the difference between honesty and integrity? They don't know. And you ask a second question, can you have one without the other? They don't know. How the bloody hell are we going to teach? What are we going to teach? Folks, I talked of mental strength. One is physical strength, second is mental strength, third is emotional strength. In fact, Sahil and I, we were talking right now. People who are emotionally weak, you can never trust them. They are imbalanced people. The same person, they're moody people. They're whimsical people. The same person is all sugar and honey to you today, and the same person ought to catch your throat tomorrow. Can you trust people like that? Yes, no. No. Look at the breakdown of relationships today. How can you have any relationship with people who are emotionally weak? You can't. You can't trust them. And when there is no trust, where is the relationship? Folks, ask people, even the religious preachers, they tell you, you ask them what is the greatest thing in the world, and they'll tell you, love is the greatest thing in the world. Rubbish. The way I see it, trust in many ways is a much greater compliment in life than love. There are people we love, but we can't trust. Till we get our basics right, how do we get these kids out to see the world? How do we prepare them to face the world? How do we do it? I don't know. We got to get the basics right. I don't have all the answers. But sadly, most people don't even have the right question. And that is the sad part. And we were talking about the IITians. Maybe 1 million, 2 million people every year give the exam or prepare to go to the IIT, but only 10,000 people are taken in. Only 10,000 or less, I don't know. That means 10,000 out of 1 million, 2 million means they are the cream of the country. They are intellectually very strong. They have very high IQs. And who has the greatest suicide rate? Always also these people. Great IQs, emotionally, zero. Unstable. Look at the suicide taking place in Kota and other places. What is it? You know what is the difference? Because we teach our kids only 2 words. Succeed and win, succeed and win, succeed and win. We only teach them 2 words, succeed and win. But life always does not go up, up, up. It also comes down. We have never taught them how to lose, how to fail. Show me one person who has succeeded in life who's not failed 10 times. One. We have never taught them how to fail. And when they fail, they don't know how to handle it. What do? Go into depressions, commit suicides. During the pandemic, I was called to address the NHS. National Health Service in UK. I said, what is it? Oh, you need to motivate them. I said, no, they're all scientists. I'm a BCom third division. I'm an uneducated person. They should be motivating me. They said, no, Mr. Khera, you need to motivate them. I said, how do I motivate these scientists? They're all doctors. I checked up many places, whether India or US or UK. I found 40% of doctors are suffering from depression and 17% have considered committing suicides. Great professionals. But we are unable to handle real life stuff. Let me ask you, if your students and kids can speak 3 languages, solve mathematical problems 25 different ways, but they cannot solve day-to-day problem, they are totally a failure in life. Yes, no. And when we talked of relationships, I addressed many business schools, many different parts of the world. And today, they teach in business schools the students how to go network. Why are you networking? And they say, I'm building contacts. Why are you building contacts? He's a doctor, he's a lawyer, he's a moneyed guy, politician, he's a cop, IAS guy, he's a gunda, mafia. Someday he could be useful. Are you with me? Someday he could be useful. Usefulness goes. You see, they teach them how to build contacts. They don't teach them how to build relationships. Are you with me? There's a world of a difference between building contacts, sir, versus building अनपढ़ बना के निकाल सब कागज के टुकड़े के साथ. We have an office in Singapore. One day I came from dinner and a man met me in the lobby and he asked me, Mr. Khera, you came from dinner? I said, yes, sir. He said, you met some people tonight? I said, yes, sir. And his next question was, I hope you met some people who could be useful to you. I felt like giving him a piece of my mind and something else. You see, this guy's criteria of meeting was usefulness. What he could extract out of this person. They are rascals, parasites, takers, crooks. You can never build relationship with people like that, can you? How can you do it? They don't understand that usefulness is a byproduct of relationship. Are you with me? Usefulness is a byproduct of relationship. I have good relationship, we can be useful to each other. But that is not the purpose of friendship. Because if it is a purpose, purpose finishes, friendship finishes. If I have a friend of 20 years and tonight if he has a problem, who's the most natural person he will go to? The friend of 20 years. He's not going to make new friends tonight. Is it my duty to help? Answer is yes. If I help him, am I doing a favor? No. And if I don't help, am I behaving like a friend? No. But remember, helping a friend is a duty of a friend, never the purpose of friendship. Because if it is a purpose, purpose finishes, friendship also finishes. Folks, are you with me? And what builds relationship? You see, none of us is perfect. Nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. And in order to maintain good relationship, we must be tolerant. How many agree with that? Please raise your hand all the way up. One more wrong answer. One more wrong answer. Folks, I hate this word tolerance. I would replace this word with mutual respect. I and my wife live together not because we can tolerate each other. Vice Chancellor Sahib? Not because we can tolerate each other. We live together because we respect each other. The day we don't have respect, you can't live together. And you know what the word tolerance means? Postponing the blast. अभी नहीं, 5 दिन के बाद मरेंगे, लड़ेंगे हमारे. Folks, employers and employees work long-term together, not because they can tolerate each other. They work long-term together because they respect each other. Once that is gone, you can't. Sir, हमारे basics ही ठीक नहीं है, कहाँ जाएंगे हम लोग? Our basics are messed up. Well, I didn't realize how much. You gave me 25 minutes. I think I've gone over 45 minutes, almost. You want me to wind up? I can do it. Or you want me to go 10 more minutes? Yes, no? Folks, Mercedes is a client of ours. One of the senior executives wrote an article. With the speed of change, the way things are happening today, products are getting obsolete the day they're getting launched. And knowledge is getting obsolete within 2 to 3 years. Check out engineering graduates. By the time they get to the 4th year, what they learned in the first year became obsolete. Check medical graduates. By the time they get to the 4th and the 5th year, what they learned in the first year became obsolete. Now, literally, it has become a cliche. The only constant is change. Now, with that in mind, either we have a great opportunity for those who are prepared, or we are in deep trouble. Now, great opportunity for those who are prepared. Now, my question to you is, how do we prepare for the unknown? We don't know what's coming. How do we prepare for the unknown? So I started thinking on this and started penning down an article which has just been published now in Singapore HR magazine, Asia, and we're sending to New York Times for publication. And I started penning down that is there anything else in this world that is constant other than change? And if there is, how do we master the constants? So I wrote in that going into the future, the only people who will succeed in life are those who master 3 skills. They have never changed, they will never change. And they are 1, people skills, 2, persuasion skills, 3, prioritizing skills, 3 skills. Why do I share people skills? Folks, go check out all over the world. We don't have business problems. We have people problems. And when we take care of our people problems, most of our business problems are automatically resolved. And 2, folks, go check out all over the world. All through history, our parents, their parents, their parents, we are hired for our skills, but we are fired for our behavior. Yes, no. Everywhere. And 3, you notice the lower a person is in life, 90% of the time goes in technical skills, less than 10% people skills. and higher you go up, guess what happens? It just reverses. Means technology and technicians, which keeps changing and will keep changing, you can always buy with money. But the wealthiest person in the world must build and create relationships. Eventually, they all come down to what? People issues. They all come down to people issues. Now, I'll share. We have a client. We selectively take 3-4 clients a year on a consulting services, take them from one level to another level. This company had a Swiss collaboration, so I got a call. Mr. Khera, can you do some sales training for our people? I said, sir, give me a couple of days. I'll come back to you. 2 days later, I called the CEO. And I said, sir, your people don't need sales training. They need basic training in courtesy, etiquette, manners, integrity. I said, what? I said, yes, sir. Basic training in courtesy, etiquette, manners, integrity. He said, what does that mean? I said, many of your salespeople have appointments and they're running late. They don't even have the courtesy to call and say, I'm sorry, I'm running late. And 2, they walk in late. They don't even have the courtesy to say, I'm sorry I kept you waiting. 3, in case they call, and by the way, time to call is when? Before you got late or after you got late? Okay. 3, and in case they call, what do they say on the phone? I'm stuck in traffic. Now, don't get me wrong, traffic has become a real issue all over the world. But many times, they leave only 2 minutes before the appointment and they blame it on traffic. They don't have the guts and integrity to say, I'm sorry, I apologize, I did leave late. I'm sorry. And we understand only the first lie is difficult. Hello? Second becomes easier. Third becomes easier. Fourth becomes easier. Fifth becomes easier. And very soon you are dealing with a chronic liar who is a rascal. By the way, rascal is a mild word. I've checked in the dictionary. And tell me, only the first lie is difficult. After that becomes easier. And tell me, if this is the starting point of a relationship, tell me how long will it last? How long will it last? And tell me the example that I'm sharing with you. Haven't you heard people doing like this? And folks, many times people say, this is a little lie. When the big one comes, I'll tell the truth. Have you heard the phrase, practice makes perfect? How many believe it's true? Please raise your hand. One more wrong answer. Folks, practice does not make perfect. Practice only makes permanent whatever you practice. Many times people say, this is a little lie. When the big one comes, I'll tell the truth. You practice enough little lies in life. When the big one comes, what happens? You end up telling a big lie. Many times people say, this is a little thing. When the big one comes, I'll show courage. You practice cowardice and little things in life. When the big one comes, what happens? You end up being a big coward. Hello? Practice does not make perfect. Practice only makes permanent whatever we practice. And sadly, every time we lie, we fall down a little bit in our own eyes. Our self-esteem goes down, inferiority complex. next lie becomes easier. Folks, we teach our kids to lie for $2. And the same kid will sell his mother for $2 when he grows up. There was a father who had two boys, one 10-year-old and the other 6-year-old. They went to a state park for a picnic. And right at the entrance, there was a sign, kids under 5 go free. So father tells his 6-year-old boy, son, if he asks your age, you are 4:45. See, we teach our kids to lie for $2. And the same kid will lie for 200 million. He'll sell his mother for $2. But there's another dad who teaches positive values. They also go to the same park. And he also has two boys, 10-year and 6-year-old. And he sees the same sign. And he tells the ticket seller, give me one adult ticket and 2 children ticket. The ticket seller says, sir, how old is the young one? He said, he's 6-year-old. And the ticket seller says, sir, if you're not giving me his age, he could have easily passed for under 5. I could have never in my life come to know about it. Father said, you would never come to know, but my son would know. You'll never come to know, but my son would know. And you see, we teach them to lie for $2. The same kid will lie for 200 million, sell his mother for $2. Why am I using again and again, sell his mother for $2? Folks, go check out. Do you know the infiltration that has taken place from Bangladesh and the Burma Rohingyas? Close to 10 crore people have come into this country. 5 is the official figure. One guy has filed a PIL, and 5 crore is the official agreed figure. 10 crores. You have literally been invaded here. And who's done it? There's a commandant who was raided from BSF. Got 20,000 crores. It's a paradise posting today. $2,000 is the rate. Pay them at the entrance at the border. Get in. Your country is being sold. Who will sell it? सब ये कुछ नहीं दिखेगा यहां पर. Are you waiting for one more partition? What are you waiting for? सब यहीं का यहीं रह जाएगा सब यूनिवर्सिटी. We have to fight. I don't know how many of you have seen the video which has gone viral where I've said, I'm not a Gandhian. Anybody seen that video? You've seen that, ma'am? I was addressing a group and a man from the audience came up and he asked me, Mr. Khera, are you a Gandhian? So I've learned one thing in my life. Before answering a question, clarify the question. And 2, sometimes the best answer to a question is a question, yes, no. So I asked him, sir, can you tell me what are the criteria of being a Gandhian? So he thought for a moment and he says, sir, Gandhi believed in 3 principles. 1, with love, you can win everybody. 2, he believed in tolerance. 3, he believed in ahimsa. 3 principles of Gandhi. He asked me again, are you a Gandhian? I said, sir, I've been living in the US now 47 years, but I'm an Indian. And I respect our epics, Ramayana, Mahabharat, Guru Granth Sahib, and Bhagavad Gita. I've not read them, but I've heard them. So I asked him, have you read all these epics? He said, yes, I have. So I said, you're a very knowledgeable person. So I said, sir, since you are so knowledgeable, can you tell me, was Rama Gandhian? Sahil, वापिस आओ यार जल्दी से. कहाँ जा रहे हो? जल्दी से आओ. Okay. See, so I asked him, sir, was Rama Gandhian? So I said, let's look at your 3 principles. Number 1, you said with love, you can win everybody. Tell me, was Ram able to win with love? Answer is no. So Ram failed. So Ram was not a number fail test. First test, he failed. Number 2, you said tolerance. Did Ram say, I'm a very tolerant guy, you kidnapped my wife, it's okay, I'll get a second one? You'll kidnap that one, I'll get a third one. You'll get a third one, I'll get a fourth one. You get a fourth, I'll get a fifth. He said, no, I don't tolerate kidnappers. And 3, you said ahimsa. I said, what did Ram do? He pulled out his weapon, he chopped his head. That is hinsa. Hello? That is hinsa. Even for self, that is hinsa. What's wrong? Did Ram say, let's compromise? Did Ram say, let's do a satyagraha? Did he say, let's do Anshan? He says, no, idiot. I don't tolerate nonsense. Chop his head. I said, Ram was not a Gandhian. मैंने कहा साहब, Ram did not compromise. याद रखिए जिंदगी में धर्म युद्ध में कभी समझौता नहीं होता. Are you with me? And then, not only that, मैंने कहा, why you go that far? Go look at the 10 Sikh gurus when the Mughals were forcibly converting into Islam. What did the 10th Sikh guru do? Guru Gobind Singh Sahib. Was he able to win with love? Answer is no. Did he say, I will tolerate your terrorism? He said no. Did he pull out the weapon? He fought. And I said, you have read so many epics. इतने पढ़े लिखे हो. एक ग्रंथ में दिखा दो मुझे जहां पे ये लिखा है कि जब आपकी बहू बेटियों की इज्जत नीलाम हो रही है, कौन से ग्रंथ में लिखा है that is a time to go to temples and do bhajan, kirtan and meditation? Show me one place. I said, there is a time to fight. Not fighting is stupidity. And remember, he said, no, बड़ा इंसान forgive कर सकता है. अजय जी कहता है, बड़ा इंसान forgive करता है. मेरा गधा भी forgive करता है साहब. बोले कैसे? I'm creating a video. Is forgiveness a virtue or stupidity? साहब, मोहम्मद गौरी हमारे पे अटैक करने आया यहां पे. पृथ्वीराज चौहान से लड़ाई की उसने. पृथ्वीराज चौहान ने उसको हरा दिया और छोड़ दिया क्योंकि मोहम्मद गौरी ने बोला सॉरी. बोला जाओ भाई, जाओ सॉरी. और क्यों छोड़ दिया उसको? है मूछ का सवाल है. बड़ा आदमी फॉरगिव करता है, बड़ा आदमी करता है. वो चला गया. He went back and with double force came back again, attacked. And again Prithviraj Chauhan defeated him. And again he said sorry and he let him go again. And then what did he do? Came back again. And as per history, whatever it says, 15 times he came back and 15 times Prithviraj Chauhan defeated him and let him go. And 16th time he came back and he picked up, defeated Prithviraj Chauhan and chopped his head and raped his wife, put her on the street, and he took over the country. You tell me, for your own ego, you put the country's interest at risk? Is this called forgiveness? लोग कहते हैं ना, मैं अपने देश के लिए मरने को तैयार हूं, मैं देश के लिए मरने को तैयार हूं. एक जनरल ने बहुत अच्छी बात कही थी, देश के लिए मरने के लिए तैयारी से, देश के लिए मरने से आपको आजादी नहीं मिलती, दुश्मन को मारने से मिलती है. साहब, हम लोग अंधविश्वास में इतना पड़ चुके हैं. One of the biggest damage done to our country has been done by our media. You turn the newspaper or the electronic media, what do you see? Horoscope. Horoscope. नाम बोलो, कहां से बोल रहे हो बोलो, जन्म तिथि बोलो, जन्म टाइम बोलो, गुरुजी मालूम नहीं. He has a laptop. And he does tick, 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 tick. दूसरा तीसरे के घर में बैठा है, तीसरा चौथे घर में बैठा है, चौथा पांचवें घर में बैठे है. कुछ ना कुछ तो होगा. अरे दूसरा तीसरे के घर में बैठेगा तो कुछ तो होगा. फिर कहता है, ओ मंगलिक 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 मंगलिक. एंड देन दे सेड शनि चढ़ गया, शनि चढ़ गया, शनि चढ़ गया, शनि चढ़ गया. अब वो घबरा गया, साहब अब क्या करूं मैं. बोले शनि को उतारने का उपाय बताता हूं. कहता है काला रुमाल लो, उसमें काली दाल डालो, फिर काला काजल लगाओ, उसको काले बाल वाला खोजो, 7 बारी खोपड़ी पे घुमाओ, फिर काला कुत्ता खोजो, फिर काला बर्तन खोजो. सर, सारी दुनिया के काली चीज ही खत्म हो गई है. वो भाग रहे हैं लोग इसी चक्कर में. साहब, मैं तो आपसे ये पूछना चाहता हूं कि शनि को उतारना चढ़ाना इतना आसान है, तो भेजो शनि को पाकिस्तान, सारे टेररिस्ट को मरवा दो ना यार. अगर शनि को उतारना चढ़ाना इतना आसान है, तो भेजो शनि को लद्दाख, चाइना से लड़वा दो. साहब, मैं आपसे एक चीज पूछना चाहता हूं, आप तो पढ़े लिखे हो सारे. शनि परमानेंटली इंडिया में क्यों रहता है? ऑस्ट्रेलिया कभी जाता ही नहीं. सर, ऑस्ट्रेलिया नहीं जाता, न्यूजीलैंड नहीं जाता, इंग्लैंड नहीं जाता, कहीं नहीं, यहीं बैठा है परमानेंटली. साहब, इफ यू रीड लाइफ हिस्ट्री ऑफ स्वामी विवेकानंद, Swami Dayanand and Guru Nanak, they fought against it. They fought against it. They never believed in these things. Folks, Guru Nanak fought against superstition and Vishwas. Look at Sikh families. My children got married, Sikh rites. Don't tell me any patri Sikh patriyan nahi milate. And there's no Manglik, there's no Shani. And there is no Shubh Muhurat for a wedding in Sikhs. Every Sikh wedding is done when? On a Sunday. Sunday doesn't sit right, they do it on a Saturday. Saturday doesn't sit right, they do it on a Friday. But यहां पर हम लोग अंधविश्वास में बैठे हुए हैं. मैं एक आदमी मिला साहब मुझे, उसने 10 उंगलियों में 10 अंगूठी पहनी हुई है. मैंने कहा 10 नीचे भी पहनी है क्या? और बता दे भाई तू. व्हाट रबिश. और जाके भगवा पहना है, सफेद पहना है, तिलक लगाया, बाबा जी बाबा जी बाबा जी, पांव पकड़ रहे हैं, बाबा जी बाबा जी बाबा जी बाबा जी बाबा जी, उसके पांव पकड़ रहे हैं. अरे जेल में होना चाहिए, तू क्या कह रहा है? बाबा जी बाबा जी बाबा जी, क्या करूं बाबा जी क्या करूं. एक बाबा कहता है बेटा प्रीत करो प्रीत करो प्रीत करो. अब दूसरा बाबा कहता है बेटा हनी करो हनी करो हनी करो. और तीसरा हनी प्रीत मिक्स करके बेच रहा है साहब वो. साहब को एक छोटी सी बात है. मैं एक बार एयरपोर्ट जा रहा था, तो अचानक ड्राइवर ने जोर से ब्रेक लगाई, गाड़ी एकदम झटके से रुक गई. तो मैंने पूछा कि भैया क्या हो गया? बोले बिल्ली रास्ता काट गई साहब. साहब, लोग ट्रैफिक लाइट पे नहीं रुकेंगे, बिल्ली रास्ता काटे को तो रुक जाएंगे। आर यू विद मी? ट्रैफिक लाइट पर ही रुकेगा कोई? बिल्ली रास्ता काट के तो रुक जाएगा साहब। तो मैंने उसको पूछा कि भैया क्या होगा? बोले साहब अपशगुन है, मैं गाड़ी रोक देता हूं। मैंने कहा, कहता नुकसान हो जाएगा। तो मैंने कहा फ्लाइट मिस होगी। तो मैंने कहा बहुत नुकसान हो जाएगा, फिर क्या करेंगे? तो मैंने कहा भैया कब तक रुकोगे? कहता जब तक कोई साहब दूसरा ना निकल जाए। तो मैंने कहा फिर उसका नुकसान हो जाएगा? बोले उसकी प्रॉब्लम है, कोई बात नहीं। साहब आगे सवाल पूछिए, देखिए क्या हुआ। मैंने उनको पूछा कि भैया मान लीजिए आप 15 गज पहले होते और मान लीजिए बिल्ली निकल चुकी होती और आपने अगर बिल्ली को ना देखा होता, इन दैट केस आप ही की गाड़ी पहली होती, तो फिर क्या होता? साहब ध्यान से सुनिएगा, पीएचडी किया हुआ बिल्ली पे उसने। साहब जवाब क्या देता है? कहता है इन दैट केस बिल्ली की पावर कम हो जाती है साहब।